Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good morning, good night. Hello, wherever you are. Welcome to the Givin Trouble Show. I am just Lisa, and this is Lyrics.
Lyrics. Yes, I have not lost, even though I've missed a few episodes, I have not lost that hand-eye coordination that we test every episode by trying to point at each other. And it's harder than it looks because she's actually, to me, she's on this
That
side.
side.
Yes, so it's harder than it looks, guys.
It
I
sure
promise
is.
you, for sure.
But welcome to
Hola,
the show.
Sean.
Hola, Sean, my darling, my darling. How penal boy, all you flood out today? That was rain, boy.
Good.
Lyrics, why you doing all that rain?
Girl, I can't up, I get up this morning and I look at all this rain, and I mean, it rain last night. Rain this morning. I get up and look outside and say, wow, it is, that's, as we do, even though it rains like this, like every so often, and it's not like strange or freaky. I'm like, you're like, whoo, nice rain, boy. It's like something to talk about, something, exciting. But I'm really hoping and praying that, it didn't have too much flooding and, people didn't get discombobulated. I have not been paying attention because when I saw the rain this morning, I say, you know what? I feel I could get a walk-in appointment this morning to get vaccinated. Because I've had a bit of a vaccination saga, a bit of a saga, Lisa. Okay?
A bit of a laziness. You know how much of time you could have get vaccinated and you just decide.
I would say about.
I went quite Tobago to get my vaccine. Your ass right there and you ain't get no vaccine yet. You good, yes?
I was manifesting the reality that I wanted to happen with the vaccine, Lisa. I was like, I don't have a car, and I want to be able to walk to get my vaccine. And there's a wonderful health center, 5 minutes walk, less if I walk fast, away from my house. Why I must take a taxi or ask somebody to take me to Napa to go walking when I should be able to go right down in Carnage? And I was determined. I went last week, Friday, right after the show, the day after the show, I went last week, Friday, and the lady braced me and said, we don't take walk-ins, you have to get an appointment. So I was like, I've tried to get an appointment, what to do? And she was like, here, fill out your name here. So I put out my name and Wayne's name to get the appointment, and nobody called. Nobody called, Lisa.
Shocking.
So this morning, when I see rain, I say, you know what? We're going to not come to the appointment this morning. Let me go down there. I call them. I say, hi, it's morning. We're going to get a vaccine appointment. She's like, come. It have nobody here, girl. Come. When I reach, it's like one person was ahead of us.
Like a ghost town.
And the nurses and them bored. If you hear old talk, they say, you'll have to stay for 20 minutes. I was like, they don't need us to stay there. They just want to line because they don't have nobody today.
I'm happy you got your joke in your neighborhood community health center. And you didn't have to take taxi and you went right back 5 minutes up the road. You walk up with your husband and all you get all your jokes. That's nice. It's nice. I'm happy for you because yeah, because it's a serious situation going on. This fear of the Delta variant.
Variants. It all feels very sci-fi to me, like real dystopian future. You see this kind of stuff in movies and things. Real crazy, boy. Real crazy. I'm still coping with this whole, what's going on. And one of the ways that I'm trying to cope, is to come up with some names for a Trinidad variant. Like, how in Trinidad, like Trinidad and Tobago, apologies, I want to get no comedian back now. How in Trinidad and Tobago, we make up names for the cold that passes through after Carnival. I remember one year it had a Saddam, I think they had a Trump. We've come up, all kind of names for these things. There's a storm, all kind of things. Right? Sahara, all kind of things. So I want to know if a variant, and Sean, this is for you, Sean. You have to do your work in the comments, Sean. If you had to name a local, if we had a variant that came out in Trinidad, what would be the name of the variant? What would you call it if we get to name it? Right? So I came up with Tabanca. I think we should call it the Tabanca variant because if you get it, you just miss the vaccine. No? No? No. Okay. All right, Lisa, you want to give people looks? What you would call it?
I'd call it the Cedrus variant because that's where it would originate.
You were like Bacchanal boy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I know, I'm talking real shit.
Sanchez, kudos, kudos to the staff of the Penal Health Center for handling my vaccination appointment to be efficient and very accommodating. Yes, Sean, you had the privilege of an appointment, Sean. I tried to get an appointment, but it didn't work out. Right? Ooh, I will say Obzuki. That would be a good name for a variant. The Obzuki variant. Like when you hear that, you don't even have to tell it from Trinidad. You know, they'd be like, oh, that's the Trinidad variant, the Obzuki. Right?
I don't want it to be a Trinidadian variant because if it's a Trinidad variant, it'll take over the world because that's just what Trinidadians do.
Ooh, Sean said it should be called the VAPS. That's a good name. And the V, it doesn't have what you call that, what's the thing? Oh gosh, alliteration. We could call it the vaccine VAPS or the VAPS. No, not the
variant. The VAPS variant. So let's try it.
Variant.
In tonight's news, the VAPS variant has been identified in the areas of Cornwall, Wales, and Scotland. More after the break.
Rafi pushing his
Stoops variant.
The Stoops variant.
So that's what we had last year when nobody was taking COVID seriously. That was the COVID.
That's not real.
That's not real. Oh, maybe we should just call it the "That's not real" variant.
That's not real variant. Okay.
That's not real.
You know, but it is heartening to see more and more people getting vaccinated. You know, every time I go and check the stats, I see our numbers going up in terms of how many people are vaccinated. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I just want to go Ratans and buy some drawers, like,
dog,
you know,
get underwear right now. I mean, I know I aspire to holiness, but this is not what we're talking about.
Listen, my husband say, come, Lula, we Netflix and chill. I say, all right, when I go on in my drawer looking for little sexy drawers, bingo bag, bingo bag, bingo bag, bingo bag, bingo bag with holes in it, all you. Things grim. Things very, very grim.
Things very bad.
Get vaccinated, please, so we can come out in a polo or a vest and send me on my way.
Yes. No, but seriously, that Ratans talk, can we talk about it a little bit? Somebody was saying on Twitter that they need to open Ratans so that they could get civil servants could get clothes to go back to work. I am not a civil servant, but I need some new underwear. Seriously, you know, what have we been wearing for the last 2 years? Panty and vest. Don't lie and say you wearing pants and anything like that in your house. You're lying. You're lying. You know, you have two shirts, one for the Monday Zoom and one for the Thursday Zoom, and that is it. You have 2 shirts, and for the last year and a half, all you wearing, I'm not just talking to you, my dear Lyrix. I'm talking to all women, all you women who home in the house. And you know you're only in panty and vest. And the same panty and the same vest for the last year and a half. Oh God, Ratans, please open. We need a change.
You understand? Who bra living for safety pins. It's more safety pin than bra. It's a cyborg bra that I have right now.
Actually, my bra is in excellent condition because I never wear that.
Oh, I hear you. Well, I've like some home ones that I wear that are really comfortable. Like almost like a camisole, and they are tatters. Full on tatters.
Well, there's one benefit to being in the itty bitty titty committee. You just don't need to wear a bra all the time.
Boy,
bra is for style.
Sometimes I wish I was in the itty bitty titty committee because it looked very freeing. Like you could just wear a vest without bra. But it's like
The
when you
whole
have
of my
big boobs,
20s. I didn't even know what a bra.
listen,
Oh my God.
when you have big boobs, you can't even walk without a bra because them things. You
It's
understand? It's like you're
hardship.
living in Tantis. You're always flinging your breasts. I just say.
But that aside, we seriously we're in a rough period, this whew, the mental exertion. So guys, last week, well folks, I should say, last weekend on Saturday, we were scheduled to have a show called Jokey with Lyrics.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the featured performer and host, Lyrics, was unable
That's
to
me.
can.
I was unable to
So
can,
we called the whole show because of, mental health issues. And I mean, I am glad that we have the flexibility that we're in, that we can do that. But how are you doing?
I am doing okay. I think that we focus so much on. I've been focusing a lot on just kind of being fine and trying to do all these kind of Herculean things. Um, and over the past year and a half, almost 2 years, we've literally been making a dollar out of a cent. Because everything is so uncertain. We don't have full-time employment. We sit here and we sit down and we try to figure out how we're going to earn and what are the income earning opportunities open to us, hoping somebody picks up the phone and gives us a job doing something that we do excellently so we can earn. So it's been really, really tough. And my car got stolen last year, so that's been kind of I haven't bought a new one yet. I can't afford it, and I'm trying to figure it out. So I think having
Sorry,
the
wait, pause. The car that you bought for cash last year.
and I was so pleased with
That's
myself. I bought it
ah.
last. I know, and then October I just got somebody just went with it, and I wasn't. I for a while I had hoped I would get it back because I did a lot of invest requirements and I got a lot of information, and I just haven't. And it's been really, really tough this year, feeling like, there's just no end in sight. And
Mm-hmm.
then, I did the Jokey with Lyrics show earlier in the year. It wasn't everything I wanted it to be, but I felt like it was a good start. And I
Mm-hmm.
had big plans for this show that I was going to do last Saturday. And it was part of Pride, which I was excited about. We were featuring Zoe, Miss Janae, as well as Stefan John, who's a good, good comedy buddy of ours. And so I felt like, I can't let all these people down, but I just wasn't feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
And I had just heard the news about the passing of John Smith, and I did not know him well. I actually knew his
Mm-hmm.
wife better. So it was very depressing to see somebody that I had known sort of spiral into madness and have this kind of situation. So it just hit me really hard, and I think that's one of the things about my fragility and vulnerability, of my personal mental health at this time is that when something happens, it hits harder, and it lasts longer and it takes longer for me to recover from.
Mm-hmm.
And I just woke up Saturday morning and I knew I could not do the show. I
You
knew it.
Simone Biles, that motherfucker. That's
As
what you
Simone
did.
Biles, that bitch, and Niomi Osaka,
Mm-hmm.
this motherfuckers. Hi. Because I was like, no, I can't do it. And, and it's so interesting for this to happen. And then to be able to see the Simone Biles situation and the Naomi Osaka situation. And people are like, well, they have a responsibility. What happened to them? Da, 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 and who they feel they is. And, they spoil and all these attitudes that are coming out. And it's so interesting, because that's the voice that I hear in my head that tells me it doesn't matter how you feel, you still have to do the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, how can I be funny? How can I be, and a part of me was still saying, you could do it, just write down some things, you have the thing already, just make it shorter, all sorts of things I was telling myself, but at the end of the day, I was not having it. You know,
Yeah.
I really couldn't handle it. And it's interesting to me to see how people have responded across the world. And I saw this really nice article um, talking about the situation with Niomi Osaka in particular. And I was really heartened to see that everybody in the world is not just like, oh, you know, like screw them or they're being spoiled or, you know, all this kind of thing. And, you know, there's some real support, you know, and I think not just superstar athletes, but I think we all go through a lot to keep our lives going. You know what I mean? To especially women, particularly women. Men too, I don't want to disrespect men, but particularly women, you know, we do a lot and we work under a lot of real heaviness to get things done. And I think this time, this COVID time, is a time to be kind to yourself and kind to others when you can be, you know. And I know everybody's stressed out and it's easy to be rude and to be curt and to be dismissive, but no, we really have to make that effort to be kind, you know.
I'm trying to think about who I see on a daily basis. Just just the people I live with because I'm a hermit. But yes, okay, I'll try to be kinder.
You
Actually,
will.
I need to be kinder too, and just in general. I tend to get like, so what'll happen is with me, I'll be like, something bothering me, but I might say one thing and then leave it alone. And if nothing happens, I just leave it alone until
Yeah.
it reaches a point where I want to stab somebody in the eye. And at that point, I just do this packs and everything just goes. And I carry on like a cunt. And then I
Yeah, well,
calm
what you're
down.
talking, yeah, and yeah, what I'm hearing you talk about there is, you know, it's sort of like the way we deal with things. I do the same thing. It's a sort of like a cumulative, you
Hmm.
know, something happens last week, then something happened a couple of days later, something happened a couple of days after, and then something happens again, and then a small thing happens a minute ago, and I go berserk, you
Hmm.
know. So I've been working on myself, and what I've been doing now is going berserk immediately. Immediately. So now, for the slightest thing, I behave like a psychopath, right? And it's been really, really effective. Everyone's afraid no one will speak to me, but I have inner peace. I could not agree with you more,
I can't
Sean.
see that. It's too small.
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. I write, but I can't read. Simone Biles doesn't owe us any explanation, and neither do you, Lyrics. You're awesome. You
Aww.
are correct, sir. You are correct. You are correct. And here,
But I
Avril,
mean,
Avril, what? Mm-hmm.
what would Avril say?
No, I was just bringing back a little what list. This from earlier. She was like, the no bra thing. She was like, that's why she love winter. Big coat, no bra. You and your winter privilege girl with your big
Winter
coat.
privilege.
And no, yeah, that's not very serious winter in winter. I experience a few winter. I can't do that, you know. People say, Lewis, why you don't migrate? And I'd be like,
Migrate? Why?
migrate and
To
live
live
in
in a
some
place
winter.
and a place where they just put stickers on their mango. I don't want that for my life. That's sad.
Stickers on the mango, they're wrong, you know. They are
Hmm.
very,
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 very wrong.
very wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, this mental health thing, a lot of people are, talking about just being unable to. I mean, and it's been a long haul. There are people who haven't worked since March last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There are people who
Mm-hmm.
haven't been able to have like a normal life at all, at no point. Like people with higher with lower immune, like people with immunocompromised people then.
Yes, there's quite a few people like that, you know, and I've been happy to see them speaking out about this and talking about why people need to get vaccinated and, you know, because
Hmm.
they're especially vulnerable and it's
Hmm.
very serious.
Yeah. But this vaccination thing, Gil, it's really polarizing. And I find like, we were thinking about it in these black and white terms, but there's so much gray area in between. Yes,
Well,
okay, public health risk. Right. Huge, right? That's one
yes,
big, huge thing.
sure.
But people are being proven right about the inefficacy of these vaccines. Same Sinopharm that you took today and I took in Tobago was administered to most of the people in Indonesia who were vaccinated. And they are now experiencing the same Delta variant we're talking about. And then mashing them up. So they're saying that Sinopharm has like maybe 20% efficacy against the Delta variant
Mm-hmm.
compared to about 30 something to 50 something with Pfizer, Moderna, and some other kinds of vaccines. So, there are a lot of questions still. So you can't be like, oh, it's not a black and white issue at all.
I
At
agree.
all,
I
at all, at
agree.
all.
I
You
agree.
know?
I think everyone has to kind of take the risk for themselves and decide what they want to do. I know people who are waiting for better vaccines to come. Well, they're like, I will wait till the good stuff reach. Or you go ahead. Or you rush me. Or you always call it we call them people who's rush, when you go on the plane and the people who's get up and run first. Let's call them.
That would be me. I do that shit.
He's one of them people.
As soon as the plane
Okay.
fucking stop, I standing up in my seat,
Okay.
trying to leave.
I'll see you at baggage claim, bitch. Like, where you going? Like, I just come off the plane last.
The plane stop. Where we going? It
Then
stop.
stop.
We
And be like,
reach. Come on, the
we're
damn
all
car.
going to the same place. Like, the plane is not going to take off again by accident. It is not a train with the doors open for like a minute and everybody has to get off in that time.
You're just saying that. You don't know.
Of course.
But the Delta variant thing is kind of scary, I mean, they're saying that even if you're vaccinated, even if you're fully vaccinated with all the best prestige vaccines, right? That would be like the
Prestige
Pfizer, the
vaccine.
Moderna, the Johnson and Johnson.
The
Yeah, yeah,
CIC
yeah. Not
vaccine,
like the ghetto one, like
the
Sinovac
Bishop's
and Sinopharm.
vaccine, the Convent
The
vaccine.
Cornball vaccine.
You can get it on Saturday.
Saturday.
On
Mommy, I
Saturday.
will get it for me on Saturday.
You can get it on
Um,
Saturday.
Anyway, sorry. Damn St. George's people. Anyway, so
Surgeons forever.
yeah, no,
But,
even if you're fully vaccinated with the good vaccines, you're still at risk of contracting this variant, and it
yeah,
is, it could put you in hospital, even if you're fully vaccinated. So,
yeah.
but I mean, herd immunity is something we've been talking about for the last since March last year. We're talking about herd immunity and
Well, I
how
think,
we need to get to that point. But with so many people, at least in Trinidad, so many people refusing the vaccine, and I think worldwide as well.
yeah,
What
they
is
start
going
to
to happen?
break out incentives and thing. I mean, as Sean says, even when he gets his second shot, he's wearing his mask and not lying with every Tom, Dick, and Harry Nana. Thanks. Right? Because this is the thing, the vaccine is not cause I will not lie to you. After I got vaccinated this morning, I felt like Superman. I was like, oh, no, no, I'm ready for the world now. I'm like, I'm gonna travel to Port of Spain. I was like, anything could happen. But no, I felt like, oh, I did something. But at the end of the day, you still have to practice all the safety precautions, the social distancing, wearing your mask. You can still get sick. And I'll tell you something, I am somebody who used to get sick every year. I have not been sick since January 2020. But I don't know how I feel about it because I feel like when you used to get those little colds or flus every year, like once a year I'd get that little, the Saddam or the whoever it is going around, right?
Wait, what in the news now? What in the news now?
Right now, it's all kind of things. Syria, Afghanistan, Israel thing. Beirut would be a good one. They had the big bomb in Beirut, the big explosion in Beirut. You could call it the Palestinian. Um,
Anyway.
When you don't know that much about world events, but you're like, let me just call some things: Palestine, Israel,
Israel.
Afghanistan, the Middle East, Dubai,
Dubai.
the Mongol hordes.
Okay, so when you didn't get the Mongol hordes this year, you think you worry because you think your immune system isn't getting a good enough workout so that
I don't
like
know.
it's
I
not
don't
as
know.
strong
Like,
and
remember
fit
that
as it
movie?
used to.
You remember that movie where the aliens came and invaded the Earth? I mean, I know that's like every movie, but still, some aliens came and invaded. Tom Cruise was in it. And what defeated the aliens was not our technology or our fight them up, but our diseases. Because we as human beings had been weathering all these diseases and surviving them.
Wait, that was not the show where they put Head and Shoulders and it killed the aliens. That was a different one.
Nah, that's a different movie. Yeah.
Okay,
That's the
all right,
Dandruff
sorry.
Aliens is the name of that movie.
No. It was with tall, gorgeous black man who just disappeared. I don't know who he didn't bull, but he was so lovely.
What's
He's an
Dandruff
actor.
movie?
His name was Orlando something.
Anyway,
It's
McGill,
a real movie. It's a real
listen,
movie with an
you
alien
could dream
invasion.
up wherever
Sean
Dandruff
Riaz
sci-fi
knows
you
this.
want. That
It's
exists.
a real movie. And they kill the aliens. It's this tall, oh, I forget his
With
name,
head and
tall,
shoulders
dark guy.
shampoo, you telling
And
me?
they released a tanker of Head and Shoulders shampoo and it killed the aliens. I'm telling you.
I have to
It's a
say,
real movie.
self-care helps with mental illness. And then you will stop imagining that you see movies that
Hey,
don't exist.
hey.
Just
Sean, Google that for me there. Come on.
yes, a good Sean Shade. Sean, is that Shade? Seems like
What's it
Shade.
say?
He said,
H.G.
sure.
Wells.
H.G. Wells wrote his classic War of the Worlds just to be known as a his movie.
Shady. I'm some shady. I'm the real shade. Oh my God.
But the point that I was making before we close off the show, because we just have a couple of minutes left, is good. Look, Avril there with Avril says Orlando Jones.
Thank you. I don't know who he didn't fuck, but that boy just disappeared. He was so good, and he just disappeared.
No, he
No,
was in
serious.
American Gods. He kind of political. That's his problem in a sense. He's very political and just wants to give back to his community. He's very
Sexy?
aggressive.
Hot?
But he's sexy. He was in American Gods and they had issues with him because he was playing a Nancy and he was like, you'll have to do it right. He was he's just
Oh, that nigga will never work in Hollywood. Never.
well, he's awesome, pretty much,
Oh, I love him.
and he's showing it, so that's going to be problematic for him. Yeah, Avril, next time, wait until after the show to text that, because me and Shine I out here gaslighting Lisa, and you here trying to back me up and support me, and I'm appreciating that. Let me tell you one thing. But mental stress aside, we are bringing back the Jokey with Lyric show. I think we're looking at the 21st of August. So in about a month, you will get the Jokey show. Avril says she see the movie, Avril was there all the time going, no, Lisa is right. Lisa is correct. Whatever. You're both crazy. Crazy woman.
Well, looking forward to Jokey with Lyrics, and maybe we can do a bit about those imaginary movies that we saw and they never existed. But next week, please God, we're going to continue this discussion about mental health, and particularly mental health within our community. We're going to have on a wonderful guest called Carissa Daniel, and she's a therapist, and she works within in Trinidad and Tobago, and she'll be joining us as our guest to talk about what we can do to feel better. And also, we're going to be taking some questions. So bring your questions if you know you've been feeling a little down. Not that the woman going to give you a free counseling session, but like if you have a question about maybe how to get yourself moving again, those kinds of things. Bring your questions. And we look forward to alignment with you again next week.
Yes. And remember, come with your questions, but do not incriminate yourself. Okay? All
Very
right, guys.
important.
Yes, we love you. Take care of yourselves. Thanks so much for joining us for our fun half-hour show every Thursday right here live on Facebook. Yes, Avril, Sean, all our viewers today. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you later. Take care and stay safe. Bye.
Bye.